of cars here?
No, I think it like the car vannies go up to like 9-seaters.
Yeah.
Until you have to like
Minibus.
get a bus.
Yeah, minibus.
Yeah, you have to get a bus.
What about you? What kind of wife were you, and what type of wife would you like to be?
So I was a confused wife.
Before we go even further, before we go anywhere else, I just want you to see the modesty that this woman has compared to the other two that are there. I mean, the head of the podcast herself and the other guest, they're just wearing jeans, which are basically trousers meant for men from the beginning, but let's not get into that. But let us look at the modesty that this woman has over both of them. It's already there, point blank, period. What she's going to say is not similar to what these other two women are used to. But let's continue.
A masculine wife, a wife who... So, for context, I'm the eldest.
Sorry, I just want to say something before. I want to hear you about your day-to-day, because I know that you're going to be struggling with what you're going to say about your husband. That's why I can see you're picking and choosing. I just wanted to let you flow with what your day-to-day life was like then, and what your and what you'd like it to be like. Because I know that you're on that respect thing. So I'd rather that you just stick, rather than put yourself in it, I'd rather you just say, like, what did you do? Like, get up in the morning, because you said you're doing everything. So just tell us your day-to-day as you were.
Yeah.
So pre-baby, I mean, I think we had 6 months of marriage before I got pregnant. And then obviously 9 months. So, just over a year of just us. Yeah. And it was okay.
Did you wake up in the morning? No, before. Did you wake up in the morning?
I've always worked. So ever since I turned 16, you get your NI number. I've always worked and I've studied. And then I went into my career. So it was always a wake up at 6 a.m., work out, shower, go to work, come back. And, the usual single life. You put your feet up, you eat, and then do it all again tomorrow.
No, but when you got married before you had the baby, what did you do then?
Same, because we were working different. So he was doing shift work.
Oh, so you both?
Yeah, so he was doing shift work, and I was the corporate 9 to 5. So there's days where I'm going to work in the morning and he's not there, or I'll come home and he's not there.
Who was cooking? You was cooking still?
Me, yeah. I was cooking.
But that's what I mean. You didn't say anything. You just made it sound as I got up and I done my stuff and I went to work and I come home. Yeah. And I was thinking, at what time did you wake up and start cooking for your husband? Because it just sounds like
I would come home
separate
from
lives.
I would come home from work, and on the weekends I would meal prep. So, us Somalis, we like to have like our big lambs and chickens and stuff. So I'd cook that on the weekend, freeze it in like little pouches. So I know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this is what we're having. And so then all I've got to do is the rice and the pasta or whatever it is. And he would always come home and there's always food. Like, even if I'll go to sleep and he's finished at 11 or whatever, I've got his plate, everything done, microwave, his cup, drink next to it, everything just set up for him.
Regular women don't do this anymore. Regular women don't think ahead as to, all right, this is what I must do so that my men can be okay during the week. I can do this on weekends when I'm free. None of the women that we have today are doing this. And that is why even the other woman who's asking her questions, I feel like she's attacking her on certain points. She's trying to make her look like they are all the same, because she is outside the faith, obviously. She's trying to make it look like they are all the same. That's why she's asking all these questions, attacking the point of, then what are you doing for your man, and what happens when your man is there and not there, and all. They're just trying to prove a point that, hey, we are all the same regardless of whether you are religious or not, which is not true. But let's continue with the video.
So when he comes home, he can just eat, shower, and come to bed. There were days where we would spend time together, so we'd end up coming home at the same time, and we would both make it our duty to spend time together then, and cook together, sit down and eat, because we're still in our honeymoon period. We're still we're happy. Anyway, baby comes. Not long after COVID came, so I still kept up with those duties, and I essentially was a stay-at-home mum for a year for maternity leave. So what that would look like is, whenever he's getting up to go to work, I would make sure I have food ready for him. So his breakfast is ready. At the time, I've got a 3-month-old, 6-month-old, however old she was at the time. But I'd always make sure that he left with his stomach full and would come home and his stomach is full. We'd spend time together as a family when he comes home from work, and then do it all again tomorrow. So, and I really enjoyed that part. And I actually got to be, more feminine. I wasn't as stressed, because when you come home from work, you don't want to be.
Was that in the year that you enjoyed? The COVID year, did you enjoy? Because you obviously didn't go out. You didn't go out to work during COVID.
No, this was pre-COVID. So 2019. So I had her in December 2018. So from December 2018 to December 2019, just before COVID hit,
right.
I was a stay-at-home mum and I loved it. Everything was covered. It was the ideal life for me. I would make sure that his clothes are clean. I'm ironing his clothes for him. Like, I'm trying to keep him as the man. And like when he comes home from work, he's kind of, if I see that he's stressed out, I want to give him some of my feminine energy, because I had a lot to give at the time. And try and make his day a little bit better as much as I could.
Can I ask you how you done that? I'm just asking, because sometimes men just want to come home and just be left alone when they're feeling miserable.
Well, that's it.
And women tend to go
try and jump on
and men
him
don't want that.
So I would gauge that. Like, I'd see if he wanted cuddles or.
Who told you men don't want that? Who told you men don't want that? Because I definitely know that if a man is stressed out and a man just came from work and they've been stressing him out from work, all he wants from you is support, to reassure him, reaffirm him that he's still a man, he's still fine, you still love him and all of that. So if you leave him alone, then he has nobody. He has nobody. So who told you that a man must be left alone? You see what I mean when I say she's attacking her somewhere, somehow, but in a subtle way? That's exactly what I mean. Let's continue though.
Or, I'll see him sitting on the sofa. I'd go and sit on the sofa next to him, and if he wants a cuddle, that's what the leading part of the men that we don't really talk about. So he'd come over to me and lean over to me, and I know that's my cue. I'd go over to him. If he sits still and he doesn't want me to, I know he's had a really bad time at work, and me trying to cuddle up on him and all that. He's just men are built differently from us. They don't want that. So I would just leave him to it. I'd let him have his freedom and let him have his space. Do what you got to do.
Would you have given up work to stay at home and be a housewife?
If my bills and everything was paid, yeah, happily, because I really liked it. I really did. I spent time with my baby. I got to see her first steps. I got to hear her first. If I was at work and in America, I think you guys go back to work a lot sooner than that. I would have missed all of that. And you don't know what's happening with your child. Like you said, you want your kid to go to nursery when they can form sentences. I wish I had that, because I was really anxious. She was what, COVID hit, so she was still at home with me. But I think she was really 2 years old when she went to nursery.
For some kids, that's old. You know that.
I know, but
for me, that's young.
So
it's my baby.
So, would you have gone down?
It's something very funny. The fact that the women that are living in today's age, the modern women, thinks that their children are supposed to be raised by other people in nurseries and in preschools and in all these other places by other women whom they do not know. They do not know their culture. They do not know their traditions. They do not know their basic form of teaching or their basic form of life. They regard that as being okay, that other women are raising their own children. It makes no sense that somebody else is supposed to raise your child and you're supposed to meet your child from maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night, and you just see the baby for 2 more hours and then everybody goes to bed, and then tomorrow is the same thing. You just take your child and you shift them up to some other place for him or her to be raised, and they see that as being okay. It makes no sense, but it's the modern day woman. She is saying it was going to make her happy if she was staying at home and raising her kids. She's attacking her on that point.
And lifestyle in order to attain that. So maybe move to, I don't know, a house or an apartment half the size.
Yeah. Because we lived in a really small place. And then when I got pregnant, we moved to a bigger place. So if it meant that I could still stay at home and, you know,
would you have stayed in the smaller place?
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem at all. I mean, me talking about earlier, you know, having maids and all, that's
the dream.
For me, that's a dream, you know, and that's what my parents have, and the kind of life that I came from. But it's not the life that I had with him, because I think I was kind of not only battling with age, but also thinking, you know, Muslim girls, we get married young. And
how old were you when you got married?
28,
wow.
29. So that's, you know.
That's hard for a man. No, because I mean, like, you've been in the career since you were 16. That's like 12 years of doing what you like and working your own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then to come in, wow.
Yeah, so that, you know,
deserve medals used to.
There was there was a lot that I had to change, and I think that's what.
See that? Just pointing out. See, career woman. You see, career woman. Career woman.
Hey man, look here. It's so painful, the fact that the woman who's attacking this Islamic woman very subtly, in a very subtle way, she's wearing a dress, a long dress, and she also has her hair covered. She should be the one supporting her the most than all of the women who are sitting there, but instead, she's attacking a fellow woman who is dignified, same as her. It's tragic, but what can we say? Women attack each other when they see a woman living a correct way of life in which a man would be proud of and which attracts many men towards her. Because this woman right here is a true reflection of how women should be and what kind of a woman men truly desire. But if you like today's video, please do me a favor, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and also leave a comment as to, if you have a woman, how is your woman towards you? If you don't have a woman, how would you want your woman to behave? You know, if you are a woman on this channel, tell us what's your take as far as you being a woman, raising your own kids, being a stay-at-home mom, and allowing your men to become a man and going out and working for your family. But much love. Thank you for watching. Peace.